Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Johnny Depp, the actor and celebrity, is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for defamation of character, among other things. And she's accusing him of spousal abuse, and he's accusing her of spousal abuse. So we're going to be using numerology to basically determine who is most likely the liar in the situation and who's most likely telling the truth. And we're also going to be taking a look at what the possible outcome of this trial will be. But more importantly, I really wanted to make this video today for you guys to kind of show you how you can use numerology to tell if somebody is a narcissist, right? So if somebody's already demonstrating narcissistic behavior, you can definitely use numerology to help you to confirm that they might actually be a narcissist. And a lot of people who watch my channel are empaths, people that are highly sensitive and very empathic and very empathetic. And empaths tend to attract narcissists when it comes to relationships. So we're going to be talking about that as well today through analyzing Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's charts. So here we have Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's charts. And I will leave a link below to a video that will show you how to calculate these charts if you like. You need the birth date and the full name that is on a birth certificate at the time of birth. And these are just some of the numbers that you will see in a chart, some of the more important numbers. But just to let you know, there are many, many, many more numbers than this. So it gets a lot more complicated than what you're seeing here. But we're just going to be looking at some of the more important numbers today. So Johnny Depp's life path number is a 7, Amber Heard's is a 5. The life path number is the most important number because it's your main purpose for being alive. It's who you really are at your core, and it will often become your personality. People with a life path number 5 or the 5 energy, like Amber Heard, on the positive side, these people can be some of the most charming people that you've ever met. They tend to be very friendly and outgoing, and 5 is a very exploratory number. It's often, it's the number of exploration and experiencing the world. And these people can be very accepting and tolerant of all kinds of people, and just, people gravitate towards them because they have just this friendly, outgoing, relaxed kind of energy. And so they often will have a lot of friends. People just usually really like them a lot. So I could definitely see why Johnny Depp would be attracted to her in the beginning, because 7 is a more slow-paced, introverted type of energy. It's the number of introspection and going within. It's quite the opposite of that extroverted, outgoing, exploratory 5 energy. But a 5 and a 7 is usually a really good match because they complement each other and there are some fundamentals that they have in common. 7s are explorers of the inner world and 5s are explorers of the outer world. And both of these numbers need to be mentally stimulated, basically. But the problem is that all numbers are on a spectrum. One end of the spectrum is the positive side of the number, and the opposite end is the negative side of the number. And on the negative side of number 5, you have somebody that's very irresponsible and chaotic and reckless and destructive. So people that are on the negative side of number 5 can be very destructive towards themselves, towards their relationships. They often tend to be unfaithful, and you can see infidelity, cheating behaviors, which leads into manipulation and lying and all kinds of destructive, reckless behavior. 5 is the number of freedom, so people on the negative side of number 5 often will do whatever it takes to get their freedom back, and that includes all kinds of destructive behavior. And a good example of this would be Hitler, because Hitler's life path number was a number 5. Now, I'm not trying to bash people with a 5 energy, please. Like I said, people usually really like 5s if they're on the positive side. And I personally have never met a 5 that I didn't like. So we're just talking about the people on the negative end of the spectrum for number 5. Between the two numbers, 5 and 7, without looking at the other numbers in the chart, I would say that the 5, Amber Heard, is more likely to be lying than the 7 because, as I mentioned before, on the negative side, it's a more irresponsible energy. But in addition to this, Amber also has 3 of some of the more narcissistic numbers in her chart, which are 5, which is her life path number, 11, which is her destiny expression number, and 8, which is her soul urge number. Now, I talk about why these numbers can sometimes be narcissistic in a video that I did about how to spot a narcissist. So go check out that video if you want to find out more about, how to figure out what numbers are more narcissistic. But with these numbers, they can sometimes be on the narcissistic end. That's not to say that everybody with those numbers is a narcissist, okay? I'm definitely not saying that. Please don't get triggered if you have those numbers. It's a spectrum, right? So 8 can be on the positive side. It can be like an extremely generous, giving, kind energy. On the negative side, it can be very selfish and money hungry and all about status and power and more narcissistic. 11s can be extremely empathic and empathetic on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, they can be very narcissistic and selfish and only thinking about themselves. And it's the same for the 5 energy. On one end of the spectrum, you have the person that is extremely friendly and outgoing and loves people. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have somebody who is very selfish and more narcissistic because they are only interested in meeting their own needs. So just because you have some numbers in your chart that could be narcissistic doesn't mean that you're going to be a narcissist. I have 3 of these numbers in my chart myself, but I don't get triggered by this because I don't consider myself to be a narcissist. I don't have any of the behaviors of a narcissist, right? You have to have the behaviors of the narcissist as well as the numbers. And we see that allegedly with Amber Heard based on what Johnny Depp is accusing her of doing. So allegedly, she has the behaviors of a narcissist in addition to having some of those narcissistic numbers in her chart. So based on that, I would say that she is more likely to be the one lying in the situation, and he's more likely to be the one telling the truth. Now, don't get me wrong, 7s, the 7 energy, which is the energy that Johnny Depp has, that can be a very critical energy, right? 7s can be hypercritical. And all you people with the 7 energy, you guys know, right, that you can be very hypercritical, especially of yourself, right? But that's the thing with people with the 7 energy. It usually will be that they're hypercritical of themselves the most. They can be very critical of other people as well, but often 7s will, they will keep that to themselves. So they might be criticizing people, right? Criticizing themselves as well as criticizing the world around them because remember, it's a very sharp analytical number. So they're always analyzing everything in their mind. So because of this, they can, when you're analyzing everything, you're also criticizing it too. But like I said, it's a very introverted kind of energy. So they will often keep this to themselves and they will never actually tell you, what they really think because they can be very private with it. So based off of this, I would say it's more likely that he's telling the truth about his behavior. That's not to say that all 7s, don't do the kinds of things that Amber Heard is accusing him of doing, but I'm just saying in this situation, it's more likely that he is telling the truth. Now, another thing too about his chart is that he has a lot of the empath numbers in his chart, what I consider to be the empathic numbers. And an empath is somebody who is highly sensitive, right? A highly sensitive person who is able to basically tune into other people's energy very easily. And so if you want to find out if you have the empath numbers, if you're an empath, check out my video on how to calculate these numbers and figure it out. I will leave a link to that video below. And that is his birthday number, which is a 9, maturity number 9, and destiny number 11. And often empaths will attract narcissistic people in relationships. And the reason that happens often is because the empath and the narcissist really are opposite ends of the same spectrum. So as you can see, these empath numbers that he has, 9 and 11, those can also be narcissistic numbers too. On one end of the spectrum, they're empath numbers, but on the other end of the spectrum, they're narcissistic numbers. So you will see that 9 and 11 can go either way. They could be narcissist or empaths. And so often they will attract each other, right? Because opposites attract. And we see that with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that if he is right, because he could go either way with these numbers. He could be the narcissist or the empath. But if Amber Heard is a narcissist based on her alleged behaviors and the numbers in her chart, then it's very likely that Johnny Depp is the empath, because the empath and the narcissist always end up together, right? Opposites always attract. And narcissists often look for people that are highly sensitive that they can take advantage of very easily. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case in this situation. But a life path 7 and a life path 5 is considered a natural match in numerology, and it's usually a good combination. However, if you're dealing with somebody who might be a narcissist, it's never going to be a good combination, because you can't have a relationship with somebody who's a narcissist. It's just impossible. And the relationship will always end up being toxic, right? People that are narcissists are toxic people. And so there's really not much that can be done in those kinds of toxic relationships. But if it wasn't that kind of dynamic, then there's a lot of things these two could have done to repair the relationship, right? And made it easier and better and smoother using numerology. And any relationship can be brought back together and can be fixed based on the numbers. However, that's only if you are not dealing with a narcissist. So now that we've addressed that, let's go ahead and look down below at their charts to find out what will be the outcome of this trial. What's the outcome going to be, right? Who's going to end up winning? So first I want you to take a look down at the bottom of their charts. In 2017, their divorce was finalized, and in that year they were both experiencing the 9 energy. And 9 is considered the last number in numerology, so it represents endings and finality. And in 2017, Amber Heard was having a 9 personal year, and Johnny Depp was in a 9 essence. And the essences are kind of like pinnacles, which are seasons that we cycle through. So I'm really not surprised that that's when the divorce was finalized. Now in 2022, Amber Heard moved into an 8 essence for the first time. And when you enter the 8 energy, 8 is the number of power, it's the number of status and success and achievement. When you enter an 8 essence or an 8 pinnacle or an 8 cycle, usually you're being challenged by the universe to have all of those things, right? So at some point in time, you will earn all of those things. They will come to you. But in the beginning of it, it can be kind of a challenge to get that, right? Basically, there will usually be some sort of struggle or challenge that is presented to you. And you're being tested by the universe to see if you can overcome the challenge. And then later on in that 8 energy, if you do the work and overcome the challenge, then you have success and achievement that is given to you by the universe. And the thing is, she just moved into this 8 essence this year. She's literally only been in this energy for a few months. So I highly doubt that her success is going to come this early. And also in addition to that, she's having a 5 year too. So it's her 5th year in her 1 pinnacle that she's currently in. And so the 5 energy is basically, an energy of change and transformation, breaking something down so that some sort of change can occur. And, it's not the most best energy for achievement, right? Or for winning something. It can be a very empowered energy, but, if you're trying to win a trial, it might not be the best energy because, like I said, it's all about breaking something down so that some sort of change and transformation can happen. And Johnny Depp is having a 3 personal year, and he's in a 3 essence. And 3 is a very happy, optimistic kind of energy. It's an energy that brings a lot of positivity, and it just has a lighter kind of feel to it. And once you're in that kind of energy, you start to feel a lot better. The universe often will bring about optimistic events happening. Things will happen that will just, bring you a lot of happiness and joy, basically. So it's a good energy to be in. And it can feel very victorious because you feel like suddenly things are starting to work out for you and things are getting better. And so he's got that going on for him double because that's his personal year that he's having, but he's also in a 3 essence as well. And in addition to that, in May, he will be having an 8 personal month. And like I said, 8 is the number of achievement and, obtaining status, power, that kind of thing. So if the trial continues into May of 2022, then this could be an indication of him winning the trial because of the fact that usually you'll have some sort of achievement that will happen for you in an 8 personal month. Now, yes, Amber Heard is in an 8 essence right now. And because of that, there is always a possibility that she could end up winning this. Honestly, if she hadn't just entered her 8 essence, like literally a few months ago, then I would say that there's a good chance that she would probably end up winning. But because she's going to be in this energy for a little bit of time, and it's really the beginning of it, I don't think the victory is going to come for her that soon. I think her losing this trial could be the first challenge that's presented to her for her to kind of have to get over, for her to have some sort of success later on down the road in this 8 essence. So that could be the challenge that comes up for her is, her basically losing this trial to Johnny Depp. But also because she's having a 5 personal year. And like I had said before, 5 is a great number for change and transformation, but it's not the best for achievement. And so her losing this trial could actually be the spark for some great change and transformation that happens within her that, sparks like a new direction that she goes in, right? Maybe she has some sort of great epiphany and transformation that happens because of her losing this. And the loss is kind of like the catalyst to make this great growth and development happen, right? That could be the case. And so we will see. She is going to be having a 1 personal month in May. In April, she's having a 9 personal month. So, that could be the trial coming to an end. And in May, she's having a 1 personal month. So, 1 is the energy of being number 1, right? Coming out the first, coming out number 1. So that also adds an element to it as well. But it's also the energy of having to start over again and having to start from the beginning and from scratch. So we'll see what happens. And definitely check out those videos on how to tell if somebody is a narcissist or an empath. I will leave links to those videos below. And let me know in the comments below what you think will end up happening and who you think is lying in this case. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. It really helps to get this information out there when you do that. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can head on over to my website, starsalignwithcarmen.com. And I would love to have you subscribe and to become part of the family. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.